The air in the great Conjure hall always tasted of old parchment and crackling potential, a heady mixture that made Ilara's heart both soar and plummet. Sunlight filtered through stained glass windows depicting forgotten arcane symbols, painted stripes of emerald and amethyst across the worn stone floor. Today, the focus was elemental ignition, a foundational spell meant to conjure a small, controlled flame from nothing but will and a whisper of incantation. Professor Eldrin, whose silver hair seemed spun from moonlight and whose eyes held the wisdom of 1,000 years, paced slowly before the rows of apprentices, his long dark robes rustling like dry leaves. Ilara gripped her wand, its dragon heartwood warm and familiar against her palm, but her mind felt like a tangled knot. Around her, classmates were achieving various degrees of success. Little sparks flickered into existence for some, brief, hesitant blossoms of orange and gold. A few, the naturally gifted, already managed a steady, candle-sized flame, casting dancing shadows on their eager faces. Ilara, however, could summon nothing but a wisp of lukewarm air, a humiliating puff that barely stirred the dust motes on her desk. "Focus, apprentices," Professor Eldrin's voice, a low rumble like distant thunder, echoed through the vast hall. "Fire is not forced, it is invited. It is understood. You must feel the heat within yourselves, the spark of creation, before you can ask it to manifest in the world." Ilara squeezed her eyes shut, trying to banish the image of her classmates' success. She tried to picture a roaring bonfire, a gentle hearth, even the striking of a flint. Her brow furrowed with effort, her knuckles white around her wand, but the emptiness persisted. A cold knot of doubt tightened in her stomach. Perhaps she wasn't truly meant for this. Perhaps her magic was a dull, flickering ember compared to the roaring infernos of others. She heard the soft, triumphant gasps of a girl across the aisle as a vibrant, steady flame blossomed from her wand tip, casting a warm glow on her beaming face. Ilara felt a familiar flush of frustration creep up her neck. She opened her eyes, feeling defeated, and just for a moment she let go. She released the frantic effort, the desperate striving, the endless internal monologue of self-criticism. Instead, she simply breathed. She breathed in the scent of the ancient stone, the subtle tang of ozone from successful spells, the faint, comforting smell of the wood of her desk. She listened to the distant hoot of an owl from the school's aviaries, the soft scraping of other students' robes. And then she looked at her wand, not as a tool to command, but as an extension of herself, a conduit. She thought not of fire, not of heat, but of the feeling of warmth, the quiet comfort of sunlight on her skin on a chilly morning, the soft internal glow of a happy memory, the gentle flicker of a firefly in a summer twilight. She reached not with her will, but with her awareness, sinking into the quiet hum of magic that permeated the very air of the school. Her mind became a still lake, reflecting the quiet energy of everything around her. Then a tiny, almost imperceptible warmth bloomed in the core of her chest, like a forgotten seed stirring after a long winter. It wasn't forceful. It was tender, intimate. She didn't command it. She invited it. Slowly, gently, she extended that internal warmth down her arm, through her hand, into the dragon heartwood of her wand. She wasn't asking for a flame. She was offering a place for warmth to be. A tiny, brilliant spark appeared at the tip of her wand, no larger than a dewdrop. It didn't flicker out. It held. Then it grew, slowly, carefully, spiraling into a miniature, perfect flame, no bigger than her thumb. It was not a roaring inferno, but it was steady, vibrant, and alive, casting a soft, golden light on her trembling fingers. It hummed with a quiet energy, a testament to gentle understanding rather than brute force. Professor Eldrin had stopped his pacing. He stood before Ilara's desk, his ancient eyes fixed not on the flame, but on her face, on the profound shift in her demeanor. A faint, almost imperceptible smile touched his lips. "There, Ilara," he murmured, his voice softer than she had ever heard it. "You listened. You felt. You understood." The warmth radiating from the small flame spread through Ilara, chasing away the last vestiges of doubt and frustration. It wasn't just heat. It was a connection, a profound dialogue between her essence and the world's. In that moment, surrounded by the magical echoes of the great Conjure hall, Ilara knew, with a certainty that settled deep in her bones, that she was exactly where she was meant to be, not just a student, but a budding conduit for the silent, beautiful language of magic. Her journey, she realized, had only just begun.